Welcome back to the episode of Unranked Podcast. Coming with you all. Going to actually start to shift gears here a little bit as we get deeper into the end of the year, deeper into the NBA season. Pistons off to a solid start. I think they got their third win about 60 days sooner than they did last season. Currently, 2 games under 500. Um, Had Eric Spoelstra nicely gift us the win last night. Beat some solid teams, the Sixers, the Lakers, within the last like 8 to 10 days or so. So we're gonna just dive in a little bit, talk about what we've liked so far with the new staff, new vets added to the team, how Cade, Ivy, Duran, some of these guys that we've seen draft the last few years are doing so far with good coaching this time around. So yeah, kick it over to you, E. Just want to see your thoughts on what you've seen from the Pistons so far this year.
Yeah, no, I would say just refreshing to watch a team go out there and compete and not stumble. I mean, I think last year we started out what 1-2 or 2-1, and we um had a buzzer beater loss or almost won in that as well. So we could have been, coming out real hot, but then after that it seemed like all of the wheels fell off. So it's cool to see them just keep chugging along and looking like a real solid team. Uh, Closing out games better than they have in the last couple of years. Looks like they're swinging the ball better, shooting the ball better. As far as yesterday versus the Miami Heat, ended the game. I think we said right before we hopped on, we would have blew that in the end of regulation last year. Same exact scenario. We'd have been up 8, 12 points mid fourth and ended up losing by 5, which happened probably 30 times last year, where we were up
Life.
mid to late fourth and just gave the game away. So I think it's good just to kind of see them turn the page. Cade has took a couple of steps forward. Ivy's took a couple of steps forward. His jumper's much improved.
Yeah.
Cade just being a floor maestro, doing whatever. I'll check the box score and
Triple
Cade
doubles already.
yeah. Say what?
Three triple doubles already.
Three trip, yeah, that's crazy. And you look at the box score, and Cade has some crazy stats. It'll be like at halftime, he'll have 7 rebounds, 8 assists, and 2 points. You're like, what the fuck? And then second half, he'll come out and drop 18. You're like, okay. So he's doing whatever the team needs at that moment. He's being facilitator, and then he's taking over at the end of games. Uh, as far as bringing some of the big name free agents we signed, Tobias Harris started out a little slow, but I think he's going to do his job, and that is teach these young boys how to come out here and close games. Teach them how to be professionals at the highest level. Uh, and you look at Malik Beasley, just a deadly 3 point shooter. Every single game, you look at the box score, he's 4-6, 5 of 8, three. Yeah, he's every single game he's just putting up mad numbers, and that's what we needed. We were I forget the exact number, but I want to say like 28 of 30 teams in the NBA in 3 point percentage last year, or 29. We were like near the back of the league. And that's
Hmm.
not how you can win games in any modern day NBA when teams can just rattle off 10 threes in a quarter and then you're
Yeah,
hitting the whole game. That's not sustainable at all. So it's good to kind of see us gel together, and just kind of top it all off. Duran, just a walking double double, still playing at a very high level, still very young. And then you look at somebody like Isaiah Stewart, just to anchor. And then I've seen some stats where he's playing some of the best on ball defense or best rim protection defense in the league. So I think you work all that together and you have a work in or play in type team. And I still think that's the goal for us. That should be the if we can get to a play in this year, that'd be the natural step of where I think this squad should be. And not to count too many wins ahead of us here, but it looks like they have turned the page, and just something I'm excited about.
for sure. Yeah. I'm looking, crazy you said about Beasley. Halftime, he 4 or 5 from three, 5 or 6 overall, 14 points. And yeah, like I echo a lot of what you were saying. Is like this is finally like we finally got like a nucleus
Yep.
of just Cade, obviously Cade, Ivy, Duran, Stewart, all those guys a little bit older. You have like solid vets. You don't have, we had like Bogdanovich who would be kind of like a one-way player, could just like shoot and like that was it. You had a lot of, just a lot of guys that were just more so like probably better like playoff rotational pieces just like not meshing very well with the team overall. But yeah, it's just refreshing, man. Like it, I think it's just a great time to be a Detroit sports fan overall. Like, don't watch a lot of hockey or baseball, but they kind of do anything too. But like, I feel
Yep.
like the Pistons are starting to, kind of
They were
pick
the
up their.
only ones lagging, and they seemed
Yep.
to.
Yeah. So it's like, in the last, couple years, like we've had Lions do what they do. Red Wings almost in the playoffs. They're kind of getting there. Tigers went on a run. So now it's kind of Detroit, the Pistons' turn to start picking stuff up. So just excited to see the team coming along. Like right now, up by 13 at half. Giannis got 30 and they up by 13. Without Ivy, without Asar Thompson. That's one thing. We don't even have Asar back yet, working him into the
Right.
rotation. They got, Tim Hardaway Jr. is out tonight. So it's just a good product on the floor right now. Obviously, coach knows what he's doing his thing, and you know, and this is like it could get better. Like trading might, as trade deadline get closer, hitting them phones, pick up a couple assets to like add to the team, add to the rotation, and might mess around and sneak into that play in too.
Yeah, no, I agree, and it's the show's night and day of what a coach that's invested can do. We remember the talks when we hired Trajan Langdon, and he called JB, and they flew out to like California or some shit the next day when he
Yeah,
wasn't hired because he believed in this squad. And I think we are obviously biased, but I think within our bias of how good the squad is, there was a lot of truth in that. And we knew that we were underperforming by
yeah,
realistically 20 games last year. We that squad easily could have been hovering around that 30 win point, but they
for
just
sure.
gave up. The wheels fell off. The coaches did. I mean, think about how good Ivy's doing this year. When
He
we
didn't even start.
refused to play him until like February or January of last year.
Yeah,
When you think about just how explosive he is and how um him and Cade are just a great 1-2 combo. And yet we were playing Killian Hayes, who I don't. I mean, he might be working at StockX or some shit right now. Like we have literally no idea what he's doing, and and that's that never happens to a former top 5 pick who's like 22 years old. So the fact that
yeah.
he's not in the league lets you need to know everything he was, and we were trying to make him a focal point of our squad. So I think stop doing boneheaded things like that, and you can see just how quickly things can turn around. Yeah, and it's true, bro. It's like it's wild.
No,
We
it
were
is.
dealing with that. Like,
No, for sure. That is StockX that got me. No, you hit, you hit on the head there for sure. Like it like we just look like you got a coach, you got people in place that care.
yeah,
And that's like I feel like that was literally like the difference between like last year and this year. Like we paid Monty all that money, and he was just in a press conference like, I wasn't gonna say no to 13 million. Like,
what would you do? Yeah, no, I agree.
yeah, like thank you, thank you. Like I'm about to just like, you just kind of knew his head wasn't in it. But yeah, I'm just excited to see what else Trajan can do. Like I was telling you before we hopped on here, it's like can we just stay around 500 for the next, 10 times? Like can we stay around 500 for 8 sets of 10 games? That's
Right.
essentially all we got to do. It's just, can we go on a road trip and not go 0 and 5? Can we steal a couple games on a road trip? Can we go to the West Coast and catch a couple teams slipping? Can we catch some of these, Boston, New York when they resting somebody or just, whatever's going on and just like
Yeah.
steal a win. Like, and
You got to
yeah,
be opportunistic when
yeah,
you're still fighting and clawing like we are. So I
yep,
agree with that. And we traded for Von Checchio last year, and you remember how he like even inserting him into the lineup, it was amazing to watch just how better we looked with him in there and having another shooter. And we even
yeah.
said last year that if we're going to be something, Von Checchio needs to be like the 8th or ninth player off the team, not the
Hmm.
starting four.
Right.
And
Yeah.
and that's literally what's practically happened this year. I mean, he's out this game, but this year he's averaging 19 minutes a game. Last year he averaged 31 for us. So I mean that's the difference right there, where you're adding in a Tobias Harris versus him.
Yeah.
You're bringing in you can have because
Beasley.
he was kind of a yeah. I think Monchecchio it just was we needed a shooter out there, and it was so
For sure.
obvious that now with the lineup and use him as just like a secondary third tertiary resource, which is really what he is. He's a solid player, but he was never going to be a needle mover for us, and we're going to be a playoff team.
Right.
And I think those are the type of things that Trajan Langdon did and made a difference. So I agree with you. I think we're hungry. And we have, I want to say, two future All Stars on the squad in Cade and possibly three in Duran, Cade, Ivy,
Yeah,
and Duran.
I agree.
Um, and you keep that nucleus together. Obviously, we just locked in Cade. He's looking like that is going to be a great contract for us. I mean, I forget the exact stats, but I think Cade is averaging like 23, 8, and 7. I mean, you can't. I mean, what more can you ask for?
I
You
just yeah, I
yeah,
just hate the East is so
slightly more aggressive.
heavy.
Yeah,
Like if
that's
he
the
can
only thing I'll say about him.
25 to 27, like the East is just so aggressive at point guard, but he definitely is, an all-star. I hope that I feel like that could just kind of be like the, what he needs to see is like, okay, like I do belong to like really, really start to do his thing. He has some crazy stat like certain amount of points, assists, and rebounds before a certain age, and it was only like him, LeBron,
Luka,
Jokic,
yeah.
Luca, and like a couple, like I think like Oscar Robinson or something like that was the only ones to do it too. So yeah, just good to see. And randomly here, Ron Holland had to start tonight. He's plus 16, 9 points, two rebounds, assists. I mean, just like stepping in off of like, in a back to back on a road, playing
Yeah.
that well as a rookie. So it's definitely got a lot going for us right now.
I think we've talked about Cade, who he could be like, and I think nobody wants to put this on him, but Luca,
Hmm.
LeBron is the greatest. He takes it and runs with it. He could be
Yeah.
in the breath potentially. Let's say he could be in the Luca breath. Obviously, he might not ever be LeBron,
Hmm.
but in that category.
Yeah.
Uh, and then right in his contemporaries, I mean, I think he's a LaMelo Ball type.
Yeah.
And LaMelo Ball has been an all-star. He's snuck in, I think, one time, like maybe 22, 21, maybe.
Hmm.
And I pulled the stats up here. LaMelo's that is, and he's going off this year. He's averaging 29 this year. But I mean, last year, his all-star year, I mean, he averaged 27 and 7. The year after that, he averaged 23, 8, and 6. And then last year, 23, 8, and 5. That's
They
right in line.
started.
That's right in line with what Kate is doing. So
Yeah.
you
They
you
starting
take
to figure it out
that
too.
yeah, you take that natural progression. I think, I mean, don't let him come out scoring 29, 8, and 7 next year.
Yeah.
I'm gonna give me a new K jersey.
Right.
So, that's kind of what I'm looking for. But it's cool overall. We have a squad. I don't think we probably won one inter-season tournament game last year. We got the first one off the books last night.
Yeah.
We're looking pretty promising this one here. So I think that's all you can ask for your squad. And I think
Hmm.
well, the teams, like you said, some teams will have a fire sale, and who knows what you can pick up to be a big difference mover for you. Come around All Star break, and I think we still have enough pieces where you know I can't think of somebody, but let's say we can put together a Tobias Harris first round pick and somebody and go get a guy that's worth talking about. You know what I mean? Like we have players on the
Yeah.
squad that we can move outside of the big three for us. And
Hmm.
I agree. Not to say that we should blow it all up, but I think that's why
Just
you go
move.
and sign Tobias Harris for 2 years, 50, where
Right.
it's not going to break your bank, but it's also, a team could want that, you know.
Yeah. Because I do feel like between like Stewart and Duran, somebody's going soon.
Yeah.
So I'll be curious to kind of see how things kind of unwind as the season goes along. And right now, if the playoffs were to start tomorrow, we'd be the seventh seed. That's a home game in the play-in.
Yeah.
So if we can just 5-5 in the last 10 games, hopefully hold on to this Bucks game.
And we started out with crazy hot. I mean, obviously the Bucks aren't who we thought they were.
Yeah.
We caught the Lakers in the middle of a road game or road trip. I mean, but even the most highly optimistic Pistons fans were saying we're gonna be like 3-7 coming out of this.
Yeah.
So the fact that we have stolen that's most optimistic. The fact that we did a game better than most people ever dreamed of. And you got two losses by like under 2 or 3 points in there. I overall I'm ecstatic.
Yeah.
I mean, you said it before we hopped on, or you said it as soon as we hopped on, but I don't think we got our fourth win until we were 4-29 or some shit. So
Our third win was like January 4th or something like that.
right,
Yeah, it was the same day that the Lions lost an NFC championship.
yeah,
That was our third
we
win. Yeah.
sacrificed. Yeah.
Yeah. Jeez. Yeah. Speaking of them, I mean, speechless. It's instant classic Sunday night. I just think it's so funny. Like, you and I were pretty much talking like, oh, if we lose this game, it is what it is. Like,
Yeah.
because I don't know, it was just trending that way. But like, I wasn't. It was just funny because I just wasn't like,
Panicking.
wasn't mad. You know what I'm saying? I'm like, it's a road game. I mean, I was saying all week like, this is a get right game for the Texans. The Jets suck, and they embarrassed the Texans on the road like bad that past Thursday. So I had no doubt in my mind we was gonna get their best shot. Coming down to Houston after that Sunday night, red uniforms all on and everything. They posted fucking old ass highlights of running back not being down against us and not getting called down by the referee and all this mess. So yeah, that being said, kick it over to you. Just want to see your thoughts on how the game turned out Sunday.
Yeah, no, I think you saying that them getting blown out by the Jets and having 10-day break,
Yeah.
extended week for them, and had, like you said, a get right game. And we kind of got punched in the mouth off rip. I think we just came out, looked dry, looked stagnant, and then they took full advantage of that. And Jared Goff, I don't know what was going through his mind on some of those balls, but he just kind of he had one of them Jared Goff games. And through what, the first 3.5 quarters or something. And then
Yeah.
the team found a way to, while we were texting in real time, we got that pick. We made some noise. We started getting a little bit of momentum back. Hitting 58-yard field goals. We wouldn't even kick a damn field goal last year. So
Old people. Onward.
and so what I will say is it just further made me believe that we are a championship quality type team. Every reason to go in and lose that game. Every reason to mail it in. Hey, we're losing. We're 8. We'll be 7-2 after this. Who cares? We not a division game. Whatever excuses we had. Jared Goff had 4 picks in first 3 quarters, and then whatever. But we did not turn it off. We found a way to get back, creep back in that game, and then turn their offense into just stalemate, where they kind of froze out on us, and then we just kept inching along, all the way till we inched in that field goal for the game winner at the end. And so it's something that lets me know that this is what championship teams do. You see it with Kansas City every week. You think they're going to lose, they do some boneheaded things, this and that, and then they block the field goal right at the end of the game. And I think those are the type of things that championship teams find a way to overcome their own faults
Yeah.
and just not. I can't think of the exact word I'm looking for, but just don't derail from the mission and
Mhm.
stay true to the mission. I think that's what the coaching staff has did. That's what the players believe in, and I think a game like that is only going to give them more confidence
For sure.
to move forward. So
Yeah.
overall, it's another great win, another just win under our belt, and another something I look forward to seeing how this changes this team as far as, are they going to get relocked in? Are they not
Pounding
going to
their
try
chest a little too
to yeah,
much.
yeah, yeah. Is
Yeah.
Jared Goff
That's the thing is
gonna
like we I don't like how we're being covered. Like it's just very unreal. Like it's just very different territory. Like one guy, listen to his podcast all the time. He put us to go to the Super Bowl, and I'm just like, don't do that. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? But no, I mean this is just what it is now, and it's great to see. Like
it is.
I mean that game. I think I even told you like I don't know if I'm more impressed about the defense not giving up any points in the second half, or more impressed with the offense just kind of like I mean just going literally like into gear second half and just scoring 19 unanswered. Like, I mean, that was the best like complimentary football you can play when you're down by 3 scores. Like, it doesn't get better than that.
Yeah,
And yeah, no, I think for me, like it And in the midst of all this, we 4-0 without Hutch. Pass rush help is in street clothes.
Yeah.
Buffs on the sideline, coaching, dancing. I think he's gonna have a real big impact on that D line. Like
He
I think he's
seems
gonna
to be, yeah.
elevate guys. Like not that like Hutch wasn't. I think he's just like to me, kind of seeing how he's been these first couple of days. He's very, you
Vocal,
know, coaching. He's vocal.
animated. That's kind of what he seems like. That not, and obviously we love Hutch
Yeah,
and them two together will be prime. But we gotta.
yeah.
He seems like a guy that's just highly energetic, charismatic, fun to be around. I think the guys kind of rally around that.
Kind of like
Not
Rasheed
that Hutch
Wallace.
isn't that way, but Hutch seems more of like a I'm gonna just go do the work and then I'll be the leader that way. Versus,
Yeah,
stand. I've never seen Hutch stand on the sideline and yell at the defense about doing shit. I've never
right.
seen.
Yeah. Yeah. So no, yeah, we got our Rasheed Wallace sitting on the sideline, kicking it. But I think, I mean, man, so many plays that come to mind like that. Dan Campbell's like, I love what he's doing his little interview at halftime. And he's just screaming at the reporter for like 90 seconds. But he literally was like, we gotta get a turnover. They got a turnover like seconds later.
Spoken to
Like
existence. Yeah.
Carlton Davis, that's probably one of my favorite signings of the trades or acquisitions of the whole off season. Super Bowl caliber corner, getting that pick, making up that ground to get the other pick. And
That
that
was
was like a game because that was going to be
it.
30-7 or 30 because the first pick he got, I'm pretty sure we scored and then, yeah, like, or something like that, where one
I
of the
think it was
picks we
there. Yeah,
ended up
yeah.
giving the ball right back, like after one of the picks, something like that kind of crazy happened to where, yeah, but anyways, yeah, no, I'm just impressed with the fight. They kind of said in the second half, like, we about to just run behind Sewell. And he was literally, they ran all these plays to the right. They were splitting him out like farther from the line of scrimmage just to give him more free reign to go after safeties and corners. I should have sent you that clip that I saw, but he was one of them. He was way out on the screenplay. And I think the one to Gibbs as he was going on the sideline for that like 20-some yard game. But
No,
um
he's just a snowplow coming through. Like
yeah,
and
literally,
then
he made two guys
Gibbs
run
are
into each other.
Gibbs just clear, perfect room
Yeah,
behind. It's
he was
insane how
he was running hard. Yeah,
he's one of the better. Obviously, he's one of the better offensive linemen I've ever seen. I'm not even just trying to say that. He's
yeah,
like he he's a freakish athlete. He's just the right amount of mean. He's just the right amount of poised. Like
yeah. Campbell
it's
said if we had another
great.
Sewell, he'd be at tight end. He
Yeah.
said he put him at tight
We had to put him at the other tackle. We had the best line ever.
end. Man, oh my gosh, yeah. But yeah, like it was just belt to ass that second half. Like I
Yeah,
like literally the clock was going so slow, and I'm just sitting there watching it like, are we about to walk them down?
yeah,
And them field goal kicks, you want to talk about, I'm pretty sure you could probably barely fit an index card
yeah,
through the football and the goalpost on both of those. Like
yeah.
it didn't even look like the first one went in from
Yeah.
58. And that
That
second one, I'm pretty sure, I don't know
I was nerd. That was it was
if the commentator didn't say like good, I'm like, I wasn't too sure at first. Like it was very, very close the way it was rolling in there. But man, hell
I
of a
but
game.
I think as a team, it gives you confidence when you can have a game like that and come out and still pull it out. Like if you just look at the box stats in, I think we averaged like 3.5 yards a carry. Jared Goff had 5 picks. You'd be like, oh, we lost for sure.
Yeah.
But no, we did. And like you said, coming off that 4 game stretch that we've had, with a couple of roll games in there, Hutch going down, we had every reason to drop a couple, and it wouldn't have meant that we wouldn't be still potential Super Bowl bound. But I think
Right.
that we have not did that gives everybody confidence. As far as from top down, from the coaching staff down to the players, down to the kicker, who those are the biggest plays of his entire life. And I think if you
In
expect
his
him,
hometown.
yeah, where he sold bricks, if you expect him to be able to do that in late January, potentially in a Super Bowl in February, you got to give him that experience. Mid March or mid November. I mean, so it's those are all things, and I feel like I've been hard on Dan Campbell, but I think in the past, and I've obviously let off on that because he has turned the squad around. But I think even he has learned on the game. He's much
Yeah.
less aggressive, and I think that spontaneous aggression, aggressiveness is the best. If it's predictable that we're gonna do it, like I think we did. What was it, first the Vikings when we went for it, like early
Yeah.
fourth or early first quarter from like the 25. That is like I literally I was watching it on my back deck because the kids had the TV took over, and I'm literally was like I just had a sense in my body. I was like, we're gonna fake this, and literally I think the whole defense did too. And so I think
Yeah.
when we can have everything working to our advantage, where they have to think about it, but they know we're not gonna do it. When they have to think about the pass game, but they have to really think about the run game. And like you said, complementary football, and we are doing that to the highest level. And I don't know. This is probably the best I've ever believed in the squad. Like it's
Yeah. I mean, watching them go 4-0 without Hutch, like I'm just like,
yeah. Watching this defense compared to last year,
oh my
like
gosh. And I think that
yeah,
obviously the kicking game is helping, but like that secondary, I mean, we literally we have the best safeties in the league right now.
yep,
Like last game was their first game where they all season, 8 games into the season, their first game where one of them didn't have a pick.
yeah.
So
And I think very well, how we play is sustainable and it travels. That run game travels. Jared Goff most of the time travels.
yeah,
uh, just to speak on the run game, I mean, Montgomery is a bull, and I think I have the stats pulled up here. They're literally Montgomery and Gibbs each have 122 carries, so
yeah, I saw that.
that is incredible at just how
I
fine tuned
wouldn't,
they are running that.
yeah,
And Gibbs obviously a little more big plays, so he has 6 yards a pop. But Montgomery gets all those dirty carries at the goal line, dirty carries at the third and one, third and
he kind
two.
of like the tone setter too. Like
Yeah,
he'll kind of start a game. They'll give, I think it's like the Seahawks in a couple games this year. He'll get you 25, 30 in the first quarter, just kind of beat up the defense, had them on their heels early.
yeah. And I think that's a great point. And just that yin and yang between those two is hard to defend.
Hmm.
And like and I'm saying a lot of the same thing as game, but that offensive line, run game, like I just feel the couple of things I think we just to come down a little bit. I still want to Ben Johnson not to get too pass happy, not
For
to get
sure.
overly creative and coach his way out of or coach his way into some crazy predicaments. I just talked about Dan Campbell
Yeah.
and when to be aggressive, when not. Um, those are the type of things that I think could derail the squad. We're young at defensive back. Terry and Arnold, I think he had a pass interference his last game, first one,
It's like
and
week 6.
yeah, and that the fact that he didn't let that get to his head is good. But I still think we've had these young guys in the fire so much that I'm hoping by the end of this year they would be like a not first year player
For
because
sure. It's like a third, like a vet. Yeah.
we've had two guys that are rookies play hella snaps in the back in our defensive backs. And so you work in that with a couple other guys potentially coming back.
Fonwu,
Yep, yep.
Mosley. Because
Yeah, and we
that's where
like
we're gonna need
I
them.
always say his name wrong, but Elifanwu, like he was a
Yeah.
key contributor last year in in
He
in,
like
in,
that
in large
defense turned
stretches.
up.
Yeah. So the fact
Yeah.
that we can remove Hutch, if we would have go last year and said, week 10 or whatever, Hutch is going to be gone and the follow is going to be gone, we'd be like, what's the defense going to be doing? We'd be like, oh, we're in shambles.
Right.
We're,
Yeah.
but no,
Yeah. The
it's been the
secondary
exact opposite of that.
vastly
So
improved, getting turnovers. Real quick here, we can talk about the Jags for a hot second. Got McCorkle and them rolling in. Um, so I think this is one of them games where I don't feel like Dan Campbell is going to let them necessarily slip. I feel like if anything, it's going to be like we got some shit we got to clean up, kind of based on how that first game went. Um, yeah, I'll give you about 60 seconds to just kind of see what you think about the Jags coming in.
yeah, no, I think a game I'm not that worried about. I think neither one of us are. That's why we kind of each forgot to even talk
Yeah,
about bring them up. But you never want to overlook anybody. But I think we'll lay on them, overmatch them. Um,
yeah,
and I'm hoping for just a clean, solid game like this. Jared Goff. Let's get back to clean football.
Right.
Let's get that run game back to hovering, 150, 180 yards.
Yeah.
Uh, and then
Complimentary football,
let's
clean
see what
game.
oh my God, I'm blanking on the name. Jadarius Smith can do. Like I think he'll
Yeah,
be he'll be in Jersey. So
for
let's
sure. 15,
let's see
20
how fast he
snaps.
can get ramped up. Yeah. So
Yeah.
those are the type of
Get
things
him
I'm
going.
looking for. But generally not that concerned. I think they're bottom feeder. They might be fighting for first overall pick here.
Yeah, they are trending in that direction. I think, I think this is you go get their best shot. I think their best shot will probably last a half, if that. I
Hmm.
think it'll kind of be how the Tennessee game looked. They got their fair share of injuries on offense. Defense, pretty pedestrian for the most part. They did give Minnesota a little trouble last week, but I do feel like we'll come in there with come out victorious. I'll give a score here. I'll give a score of 227, 27-16.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that. I kind of think we'll try to. I think we can pour it on them a little bit. I'm gonna go. I don't want to add too. I don't know. Let me go 31-13.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. I know he's probably your fantasy quarterback still, but I think Lawrence is just not that hot. The
Oh,
team kind of, um, I think everything we're bringing to the table. I think we'll just, like I said, lean on him, and I think we'll
yeah.
look to kind of get back to the basics. First home game in a while. I mean, that crowd's gonna be ramped up.
Especially
Uh,
after last week.
yep.
Yeah. It's going to catapult us into going to get this one seed.